524.
Welcome back to News Radio 590 KLBJ AM, also on your FM dial at 99.7 and everywhere at newsradioklbj.com. Brought to you by myfurnituremarket.com. Let's give them the business. Yeah, a new report shows Texans are having trouble keeping up with the rising cost of housing. Mark Jones did a survey for the University of Houston on this issue.
We found that 90% of Texans, that's 9 out of 10, consider housing affordability to be a problem in their part of Texas.
He says many pointed to rising home valuations and property taxes. That's something the state legislature will begin to try to tackle in January. A segment of Republicans want to use the budget surplus to buy down school taxes. That's opposed by many Democrats and education lobbyists and backers of the public school system. It is 5:51. Republicans have put the brakes on Joe Biden's EV agenda.
Senate Republicans are intensifying their opposition to Biden's electric vehicle policies. Ted Cruz has introduced a resolution to halt new fuel economy rules, arguing that they undermine affordable gas-powered cars. Joined by over 20 GOP senators, Cruz's efforts is part of a broader resistance. Critics, including John Barrasso and Chuck Grassley, cite concerns like mineral shortages and infrastructure inadequacies. They believe the Biden administration's EV push imposes undue costs and challenges on consumers and rural communities.
That is newsman Steve Randall reporting at 5:52 with a look at your money. Here's reporter Jessica Ettinger.
Wall Street opens this morning after a pop and a drop for stocks yesterday. The morning rally fizzled out. The Dow fell more than 200 points. Investors are waiting for today's jobs data. It'll be the unemployment claims number for last week.
Price action is a little disappointing, but it's understandable. And I think we're going to be in no man's land for a while because I think the market traded so high. I mean, if you remember, the S&P has been up 38% to its high from October last year.
DB8 Capital's Barbara Duran on CNBC. Disney shares pulled that Dow down yesterday. They fell 4% on some weakness at Disney World and other theme parks, even though the company returned to a profitable third quarter. Disney planning a streaming service password sharing crackdown next month like Netflix did. Then it's going to raise prices on ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus in October. Disney's CFO says they have shows and movies that are great and they can raise prices no problem.
People tend to focus on price, but remember, value is what the consumer receives. Price is what the consumer pays. We had the three biggest films, the biggest film in May, biggest film in June, and biggest film in July in total. And the value that we're putting into the streaming service with our IP right now, with Inside Out 2 coming, and with all the great TV shows like The Bear and Abbott Elementary and Shogun, we feel like we're earning pricing, and as a result, we can take that pricing.
Disney's chief financial officer, Hugh Johnston, on CNBC. Airbnb shares tanked 14% yesterday on weakness and a general slowdown in travel and for travel stocks.
When the head of the largest bank talks about the economy, people listen.
You know, the CEO of America's largest bank by assets, J.P. Morgan Chase, isn't really worried about America or consumers or Monday's market plunge.
You know, America's alive and well. There's entrepreneurs everywhere. People are optimistic. They're growing. They're expanding. You know, while society has problems, it's quite uplifting. You know, markets fluctuate. I think people overreact a little bit to the daily fluctuation of the market, and sometimes it's for good reason. Sometimes it's virtually no reason.
J.P. Morgan Chase's CEO Jamie Dimon on CNBC is on his annual All-America bus tour. He checks in on his employees and regular people around towns. He is not saying that there won't be a recession, however. On today's watch list, we get earnings from Eli Lilly, Under Armour, Krispy Kreme, Papa John's, Expedia, and Paramount Global. We find out how many people applied for unemployment benefits last week, and jobs data are extremely important. Investors are going to be waiting for that to see if the labor market is weakening. Boeing has a new CEO this morning. Disney's D23 Expo fan event starts in Anaheim. NOAA issues an updated forecast for the Atlantic hurricane season today.
All right, that's Jessica Ettinger reporting. Now with more on Boeing's new CEO.
Boeing's new CEO is Kelly Ortberg, a former Rockwell Collins boss who returns from retirement to head the 108-year-old Boeing company amid massive setbacks. His priorities for the future of the plane manufacturing giant include mending relationships with airlines and employees, boosting output and company finances, as well as securing a labor deal to avoid a possible workers' strike later this year, all amid Boeing's fall-off in jet production and deliveries following a mid-air panel blowout on a near-new 737 MAX jet in January, and Boeing's ongoing legal and criminal trouble over two deadly MAX jet crashes in 2018 and 2019. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
It is 5:55 here at KLBJ.
The Todd and Oz Show.